In the shadowed tranquility of the early hours, where life itself seems to pause, we embark on a journey through the tender labyrinth of emotion. Here, amidst the whispering winds of ancient philosophy, we unravel the elegant wisdom of Stoicism, a guide to the hidden language of feelings that often masquerade as truth. Imagine emotions as visitors to your mind's landscape, voices that float across the void, urging action or reflecting solace, but lacking permanence. You stand, an observer in the storm, poised and grounded, ready to transform transient whispers into enduring clarity. Embrace this path, where feeling meets understanding and wisdom emerges through serene reflection. Gently allowing the symphony of emotions to unfold before us, like the dawn slowly kissing the horizon, we begin to understand the intricate dance of feelings that often dictate our lives. Emotions often emerge with the quiet tenacity of morning mist, informing us without the courtesy of introduction. We wake to a melancholic note, an unbidden joy, or perhaps a neutral nothingness, each rising uncrafted by conscious thought. In observing this dawning awareness, we must learn to gently dissect our very essence from the emotions we experience, respecting their presence, but refusing to let them define us. These waves of feeling, neither concrete nor constant, remind us of their insubstantial nature, echoing the call of ancients. The unexamined life is not worth living. Like clouds passed across a serene sky, emotions shift and fade, and in their transient nature lies an essential truth about our journey. In our quest to perceive emotions beyond their apparent immediacy, we encounter an alluring illusion of truth. The sharpness of anger, the warmth of love, the echoing void of loneliness, all may assert themselves as absolute, yet they remain mere performers in the theatre of life. Marcus Aurelius wisely differentiated between what feels real and what truly is, highlighting the often distorted vision emotions can present. In witnessing the stage play of emotions without becoming enmeshed in their drama, we begin to reveal the deeper truths obscured by their persuasive acts. Here, we learn to engage emotions as guides rather than masters, cultivating a clarity born from understanding their role as transient messengers rather than eternal truths. Stepping further into this domain, we embrace the practice of observing without judgment. Just as we gaze upon clouds with a passive acceptance, our task is to observe our emotions for what they are. We are invited to be the serene watcher, embracing the rise and fall of feelings without the weights of condemnation or submission pulling us down. This approach allows emotions to naturally dissipate, disarming their urgency with the calmness of curiosity, and thereby nurturing mastery over them. The philosophical journey thus becomes one of coexistence, a place where emotions are neither eradicated nor ruling, but coexist alongside serenity. With a delicate step, we unravel the difference between feeling and reality. Here, amid emotions' ornately spun tales, reality waits, simple and profound. True discernment calls for a gentle stillness, a pause where truth patiently lingers, waiting to be known beyond immediate circumstance. Echoing the insights of Buddhism, where the illusory nature of sensations is acknowledged, we learn not to follow emotions blindly. This is an exploration not of denying emotion's existence, but realizing its place in the vast landscape of the self, discovering truth without losing joy for the presence of our communion with the living spirit. Walking this path invites us to balance heart and mind, allowing emotion and reason to coexist as partners. The Stoic ideals beckon to us not to silence our emotions, but to welcome their insights when filtered through the lens of reason. It is a dance of harmony, where Carl Jung's concept of individuation finds relevance as the mind and heart enter a sacred dialogue. This is where the self emerges whole, not fragmented, embodying the fluid convergence of emotion, intellect, and spirit, where truth springs forth. Here lies the profound dance between acceptance and surrender. Instead of raging against emotions, we engage them with subtle acceptance, transforming discordant notes into harmonious existence. Emotions, with all their tempestuous fervor, are not adversaries, but transient waves washing over us. Wise surrender allows emotions their space without abdicating to their whims, speaking to an understanding of our deeper truths found beneath the turbulent surface. Amidst this whirlwind of feeling, the power of inner silence beckons, a quiet space that remains untouched by emotional chaos. This silence, championed by the Stoics, promises refuge and clarity. It is here that authentic self-realization can blossom. Our thoughts anchored in the present through mindful practices like meditation, granting us refuge from the clamor of feelings. Discovering the gift of self-mastery, our journey through the emotional landscape shifts from a battleground to one of discovery. Seneca's wisdom extols adversity as a crucible for strength, transforming emotions from stumbling blocks into bridges that lead us closer to our truth. This mastery doesn't seek isolation from emotion, but thrives alongside it, marking freedom found in guiding rather than being guided. As we conclude this chapter, we are reminded of the journey toward cultivating emotional wisdom, a gradual evolution nurtured by patience and experience. We learn to engage openly with our emotions, respecting them as teachers, allowing wisdom's seeds to take root deep within us. Anchored in presence, our gaze is clear, recognizing emotions as vibrant guests that enhance our greater existence. Thus we stand as masters of our narrative, our eyes tracing emotion's path, not as barriers, but as conduits to self-discovery. Residing within this sacred sovereignty is the essence of philosophical awakening, leading us to embrace truth's enduring reality, a steady flame against the gale of emotion's illusions, shining steadfastly through the layers of life. Within the unyielding expanse of our existence, the body speaks a language older than words, an ancient wisdom, generating whispers of imbalance long before our minds can grasp the reality. Our emotions, those chameleons of the inner life, often spring from physical roots. A grumbling stomach masquerades as irritability. A sleepless night emerges as the gentle tremor of anxiety. One must envision the body as a vessel, attuned to every ripple of imperfection, where the slightest misalignment fosters emotional turbulence. In this realization, we approach emotions with curiosity rather than haste, much like a practiced sailor who reads the sea's shifts and adjusts the sails in harmony. Consider the intricate dance of body and mind as a grand biochemical symphony, where hormones and neurotransmitters weave a tapestry that colors our emotional landscape. Each heartbeat, every breath connects the physical state with emotional resonance. Like a vibrant sonata, these interplays create experiences that are as transient and mutable as the clouds above. The rush of adrenaline ignites our fight or flight, while the leisure of an afternoon nap floods the senses with tranquility. Acknowledging this connection empowers us to intentionally conduct our internal orchestra. In neglecting these bodily cues, akin to mistaking mirrored clouds for real storms, we risk misconstruing emotions as if through fragmented glass. When we honor the body and nourish its needs, we settle into a rhythm where the mind can dance upon a foundation of stability. In this alchemical process, hunger and fatigue are gatekeepers with startling dominion over our emotional states, painting the mind's canvas in darker shades. They are like uninvited guests altering the feast, distorting perceptions, and casting shadows where sunlight might have lain. Recognizing this alchemy transforms us into philosopher alchemists, deciphering the raw elements of our emotions. Hunger left unaddressed transmutes into anger or sorrow, while fatigue brews anxiety into a bubbling cauldron. Yet awareness unveils solutions as straightforward as the daylight, a meal to quench the body's craving, a deliberate rest as a balm for the restless mind. This cycle of neglect spins a tale from physical need to emotional outcry. Denying the body its whispers of thirst, hunger, or rest invites a storm within, growing fiercer with every shuttered window. Persistent attention to external demands, while neglecting internal needs, transforms these whispers into screams, igniting emotional fires in place of peace. Liberation begins with recognition, shifting from a reactive existence to one of holistic integration. By listening to the body's truths, we untangle the web of emotive disarray, proactively charting our course through life's seas. Yet beyond physical nourishment, the soul too hungers for sustenance, an ethereal diet of purpose, fulfillment, and existential welfare. In engaging with creativity, nurturing meaningful connections, and embracing moments of stillness, we feed the essence of our being. Consider nourishment in its broader context, as an expanse encompassing spiritual and intellectual enrichment. This art of balance resides in harmonizing ambition with tranquility, instilling a sanctuary where inspiration can flourish amidst life's cacophony. Here, emotions flow with grace, liberated from the constraint of scarcity, dancing to the melody of fulfillment. Mindful consumption goes beyond immediate physical needs, shaping the emotional scenery of our lives. Diet transcends the mere plate to include the media we absorb, the conversations we engage in, the environments we inhabit. Each of these elements subtly influences our inner realm, crafting perceptions and beliefs. Mindfulness in consumption becomes self-care, a conscious curation that filters noise and fosters growth. By enriching our lives with stimulating content, wholesome nourishment, and uplifting connections, we fortify ourselves against turmoil, embracing our best selves. Rituals craft the framework upon which balance thrives. These are the quiet anchors within life's vast sea. Morning meditations, meditative walks, mindful breaths, stitching intent and spontaneity together. They remind us of our interconnectedness with life's fabric, whispering to treasure every pause. By creating these rituals, we construct and inhabit a world delicately poised. Life reveals itself not as chaos-demanding reaction, but as a graceful dance where each step, each pause, contributes to the serene symphony. As these rituals nurture our soul, resilience and clarity emerge, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of true needs. By aligning our inner clocks with nature's timeless rhythms, we recall our place within its vast tapestry. The Earth's cycles, moon's phases, and ocean's tides invite us to synchronize heartbeats with nature's dance. This sacred bond reveals clarity, calming internal storms with external serenity. In honoring nature's cadence, dawn renews us, twilight soothes us, crafting a life of profound alignment. Amidst modernity's relentless buzz, The overactive mind conjures illusions, distorts perception, and breeds anxious imaginings. To rediscover tranquility amid this noise is to discern genuine signals and embrace practices that restore presence. Mindfulness, simplicity, and focused intent guide us back to stillness where clarity reigns, freeing us from illusion's hold. Awakening to each moment's full depth is the dance of awareness. A continuous unfolding, awareness invites clarity and untangles emotional knots. It isn't a distant goal, but an embrace of the present's eternal arrival. Through this dance, perception shifts to gather insight, observing without judgment, responding with intent, and honoring all parts as essential to our wholeness. As peace permeates, strength and vulnerability weave together, unfolding a tapestry of profound existence. Fear has long been humanity's companion, arising from deep within the crevices of our being, a silent sentinel that once safeguarded us against the lurking dangers of untamed wildernesses. As time weaved its tapestry, fear also evolved, shifting from the threat of beasts to the shadows cast by our imagined failures and perceived inadequacies. In recognizing fear's ancient origins, we grasp its dual nature, a helpful advisor in true danger and a mischievous trickster in safe yet unfamiliar realms. In the dance between possibility and peril, fear often masquerades as truth, its grip solidifying in moments when clarity wavers. It can cloud our judgment, creating narratives that speak not of reality, but of imagined catastrophes. Instead of being conquered, fear demands our observation, a pause to reflect on why we have allowed it to dictate the rhythm of our actions. By discerning its whispers, we determine whether this emotion truly merits the significance we afford it, or if it is but a phantom shaped by our own trepidation. The wise teach us that inquiry dismantles fear's fortress. When we turn towards our fears, questioning them with curiosity rather than fleeing in panic, we illuminate the shadows they cast. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius urged that we not be terrified by our mind's constructs. This perspective reveals fear's impotency, as the foundation of our anxieties crumbles under scrutiny, leaving us with a clearer understanding of what genuinely deserves our concern. Anchored in presence, we find respite from fear's relentless barrage of what-ifs. While fear paints tumultuous scenarios of the future, presence roots us in the certainty and simplicity of the current moment. The practice of mindfulness invites us to rest in the now, drawing attention back from the reaches of hypothetical disasters to the tangible, the observable, and the true. This discipline transforms fear from an enveloping force to a useful companion, silent and subdued beneath the weight of mindful awareness. Logic, paired with presence, becomes an ally in this journey. When fear arises, emotions often chart our course, leading us into the realm of exaggeration and speculation. By adopting a logical approach, we distinguish between the real and the imagined, aligning emotional interpretation with objective reality. Echoing Epictetus, fear's hold diminishes when we view circumstances not with dread, but with analytical clarity, understanding that what alarms us lies, often, not in the situation, but in how we perceive it. The path to courage is paved with clarity. Dispelling fear's fog unveils truths that embolden us to confront rather than cower. Clarity allows us to redefine fear not as a tyrant, but as a teacher revealing vulnerabilities and opportunities for growth. By embracing fear with insight, we unbind ourselves, moving forward with a focus that nurtures resilience rather than restraint, allowing courage to flourish amidst uncertainty's shadows. Central to the Stoic way is the art of detachment. This practice does not imply an absence of care, but reveals an unshakable steadiness in the face of life's vicissitudes. Detachment curtails fear's dominion, enabling us to live not at the mercy of changing fortunes, but with a serene acceptance that transcends temporal whims. It empowers us to face challenges with equanimity, rooted in the understanding that true power lies in masterfully navigating what is within our control. In fear lies the potential for transformation, for shifting perspective from constraint to catalyst. When we reconceptualize fear as a force that compels motion rather than stasis, it fuels our ambitions and nurtures growth. Renowned figures throughout history have transmuted their fears into instruments of progress, allowing us to see fear not as an obstacle, but as a companion inspiring creativity and drive. Serenity emerges as our greatest ally against fear's disquieting currents. Ancient practices of meditation and mindful breathing nurture an oasis of calm within us, a sanctuary amidst chaos. This cultivated inner peace is not an escape from fear, but a mastery over its illusory power, grounding us in the truth that fear's storms can be weathered with grace and insight. A fearless life beckons, not through the denial of fear, but through its transformation. It is the conscious crafting of existence, guided by deliberate choices rather than reactive impulses. Embracing vulnerability as strength and speaking our truth with confidence fosters a life where fear informs but never dominates. This proactive stance enriches our journey, illuminating paths of discovery and weaving a life narrative steeped in hope and unity. Ultimately, fear may also be embraced as a muse. This emotion, often feared and unshielded, mirrors the mysteries of our own existence. When engaged creatively, fear births reflection and insight, turning anxiety into art and struggle into poetry. Through fear, we invite exploration, not as an adversary, but as a muse that enriches our human tapestry, transforming what was once a barrier into a bridge towards deeper understanding and soulful revelation. In this journey, we find a partnership with fear, one that harmonizes caution with courage, weaving a life abundant in wisdom and wonder. In the quiet depths of human nature lies a wild force, anger, with its siren call of control. It lures us into the illusion of invincibility, whispering promises of power. In its fiery grip, our senses sharpen, adrenaline courses through veins, our heartbeat echoes like a war drum, and for a fleeting moment, we feel unassailable. Yet, as the wise Stoics discerned, this powerful surge blinds us to reason, casting shadows over judgment. Marcus Aurelius likened anger to a transient madness that seizes us, demanding mastery lest it take root and spread. Anger, convincing us that an aggressive outburst can restore order or that vengeance offers justice, often leaves in its wake regret and scars deeper than any triumph it promised. True control, the Stoics tell us, resides in composure, in a virtue untouched by chaos. Recognizing anger as not a tool, but a challenger to be met with prudence marks the first step in taming this tempestuous visitor. Within the depths of our soul, the roots of anger entwine with unmet expectations, buried fears, and whispered injustices. To tame this force, we must delve into its origins, unearthing the triggers that ignite its flame. Epictetus taught that anger stems not from the world outside, but from the world's echo within us, shaped by our judgments. As we dig into these roots, we uncover vulnerabilities, long-hidden insecurities, and the hollow powerlessness often masked as strength. This inward journey demands honesty, as we ask ourselves whether we rage from a place of true grievance or from ego bruised by life's friction. It is not a journey of self-reproach, but of enlightenment. By unveiling anger's true sources, we transform reactive outbursts into opportunities for deeper awareness, freeing ourselves from automatic responses to embrace deliberate, thoughtful action. Amid anger's promises of power lies a steep price, often paid in fractured bonds, lost chances, and an eroded spirit. In moments of unleashed temper, the chance to forge true connections, to speak with empathy and understanding, slips quickly away. Trust, painstakingly built, may crumble in an instant, leaving only fragments to rebuild. Within this tumult, anger exacts a profound internal toll, corroding our peace and appetite for joy, tethering us to past grievances, grudges weighing down the soul. Emotional energy channels into nurturing old wounds, leaving scant room for growth or creativity. Recognizing this toll, Seneca advises grounding ourselves gently, accepting impermanence's nature, striving for change, yet finding peace within acceptance's embrace. The art of pausing, a gift from the Stoics, offers a shelter from anger's impulsive storm. In cultivating the pause, we find the root of mastery, separating reflex from response. In this sacred interval, wisdom takes its seat, allowing for decisions rooted in patience, not impulse. Techniques to cultivate the pause, deep breaths, mindful counting, or a simple step away, anchor us in the present, shielding us from emotional surge. In this space, we may calmly ask, how best will this serve my highest self? What outcome aligns with my principles? Calmly weighing our options creates a bridge, guiding us from reaction to response. Compassion, a gentle balm against anger's bite, transforms potential aggression into avenues of empathy. As anger's flames rise, contemplating others' circumstances and struggles broadens our view beyond confrontation. This compassion softens our fervor, expanding kindness's reach, facilitating healing dialogues over division. Anger narrows perception, but choosing kindness opens pathways to harmony. Adopting compassion as our guide, conflict morphs from destructive force into an opportunity for growth, fostering mutual respect, understanding, and peace. Rituals of emotional mastery form a shield against anger's lure, anchoring us with regular habits that nurture patience and insight. These rituals, meditative reflection, journaling, exercise, creative pursuits, provide channels for anger's energy. Journaling allows recognition of patterns, guiding us deftly through untouched triggers. Meditation, a training ground for the mind, fosters non-reactive calm, allowing thoughts to flow past unclaimed. Exercise and creativity channel energy constructively, offering outlet and enlightenment. Such rituals, practiced with devoted regularity, prevent anger from assuming unwarranted control. Wisdom through the ages grants profound insights into managing anger's storm. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes mind's mastery, guiding us with serenity towards authentic strength. Buddhist teachings illuminate emotions' transience, urging the detached observation of anger as a fleeting guest, not a permanent tenant. Nietzsche and Jung speak to shadows, advocating integration as the path to freedom. As we learn from these teachings, we realize anger is universal and the journey to temperance timeless. Anchored by their wisdom, we navigate our emotional landscape. To truly master anger, embracing acceptance becomes essential. Acceptance does not condone wrong, but acknowledges reality as it stands. By accepting circumstances, we release tied anger to what lies beyond our sway, focusing instead on possibilities. In acceptance blooms clarity, yielding discernment between fruitful endeavors and futile battles. Acceptance invites compassion for imperfections, for ourselves and others, dissolving anger's seeds. Surrendering resistance, we create space for peace and purpose. Acceptance empowers responses anchored in resilience and equanimity. Reclaiming power requires understanding that true strength emerges not in domination, but in self-mastery. The strength to choose a measured response reflects true fortitude. This path of mastering anger transforms its raw energy into creativity, aligning actions with higher purpose. Forgiving past indiscretions linked to anger liberates us, healing wounds with inward grace, allowing growth born from compassion. In achieving true mastery over anger, inner harmony emerges, an alignment of thoughts, emotions, and actions with our innermost values. Here, anger becomes a guide, signaling issues requiring attention. By accepting it, not suppressing, we integrate anger's lessons, transforming potential chaos into tranquility's rhythm. This integration leads to lasting peace, an unwavering calm amidst emotional turmoil. With clarity and grace, we meet life's challenges, unshackled by reactive chains. Inner harmony shapes a journey of constant growth, a quiet, enduring peace. Emotions, vivid and intense, dance through the corridors of our minds, forging an illusion of permanence. Like waves caressed and propelled by the moon, they ebb and flow, always in motion, yet never still. Stoic philosophy gently reminds us that these feelings, though powerful, are but transient whispers of the heart. They beckon us to listen, to learn, and yet not to succumb. These emotional storms, akin to tempests that obscure the azure sky with thunderous clouds, will eventually disperse, unveiling the serenity that was always present beneath the tumult. Building a life upon the shifting sands of emotion invites instability, a susceptibility to life's caprices. By acknowledging their transient nature, we ground ourselves in the resilience and equanimity that comes from observing feelings without granting them undue authority. One must cultivate the ability to perceive emotions as ephemeral visitors, offering insights, not mandates. While emotions are indeed fleeting, our character, those deep-seated values etched into the soul, stand as unwavering beacons in life's shifting weather. Like a lighthouse steadfast against the lashing sea, our values guide us through the darkness, illuminating paths otherwise shadowed by emotional turmoil. They root us in purpose and integrity, inviting us to consider, what do these values demand of us? This reflection, this introspection, enables us to transform impulsive reactions into conscious actions aligned with our essence. The interplay between emotional impulse and rational choice defines the architecture of our lives. Emotional impulses surge like torrents, capable of overwhelming reason. Yet, surrendering to these temporary urges sows seeds of instability and regret. The Stoics impart the wisdom of the pause, a sacred moment before action, a balm that allows clarity to emerge from chaos. Imagine standing at a crossroads, where one path entices with the siren call of passion, while the other whispers of thoughtful deliberation. Though patience and introspection require effort, they reward us with decisions that resonate with our true selves. Detachment from emotional swings is not an absence of feeling, but a symphony of mindful observation and graceful acceptance. Emotions, like clouds floating in an endless sky, may obscure but will clear in time. Our task is not to control these clouds, but to witness them, acknowledging their presence without allowing them to dominate our reality. Through artful detachment, we find clarity amid confusion, rediscovering the sanctuary within that remains unshaken by external winds. This inner sanctuary is an edifice constructed through intentional, deliberate practice. It is akin to the architecture of a cathedral, every stone chosen and placed with care, forming a refuge that stands the test of time. Our daily rituals, journaling, meditation, or the intentional embrace of silence, built upon virtues such as integrity and patience, forge an internal fortress against the unpredictability of emotional tempests. Within these sacred halls we find strength and solace, a reminder of the values we hold dear. Permanent decisions based on temporary emotions are perilous endeavors. They are like chapters etched into stone amidst shifting sands, where fleeting feelings dictate lasting outcomes. Cultivating patience becomes essential, granting time for the emotional dust to settle, so the landscape of truth becomes revealed. Just as a woodcarver patiently reveals the beauty within raw timber, we too must whittle away transient influences, unearthing choices that harmonize with our core values. This waiting reveals what truly bears weight and significance, preventing actions that lead to regret, ensuring choices reflect a deeper commitment to our authentic self. Reflection becomes a gentle inquiry, turning towards our feelings with curiosity. Through reflective practices, such as journaling or dialogue, we illuminate the nuances of our internal landscape. Like a slow-developing photograph, revelations emerge from the shadows with gentle exposure to understanding. This process transforms raw emotion into wisdom, allowing insights to surface and guiding us with greater clarity. In this journey, cultivating inner equanimity emerges as a pivotal grace. Balanced against life's challenges, equanimity allows us to remain centered amidst external and internal turbulence, a testament to the calm cultivated through persistent inner work. Picture a tree anchored firmly, yet supple enough to bend with the wind. Through mindfulness and meditation, we nurture this quiet strength, welcoming emotions without losing our grounded center. Finally, in recognizing emotions as guides, not authorities, we invite a profound shift. No longer do they govern our actions, but they illuminate our understanding, mapping points of interest on the journey of self-discovery. This dialogue with emotion asks, what message do you convey? What need or value do you reveal? Through integration, emotions become allies, their insights refining our path. In the enduring flux of life, our character stands as the river's unwavering course towards the sea. It is an accumulation of choices informed by reflection and wisdom, a commitment to authenticity and growth. As the sands of experience shift beneath us, we root ourselves in principled action, remaining true to our core. In doing so, we build a legacy of character, resonating with authenticity amidst life's impermanence, echoing with the grace of a life lived true to purpose. In an era where virtual threads bind us across oceans and time zones, the paradox of loneliness becomes ever more vivid. Here we stand, seemingly at the center of infinite connection, yet often we feel adrift in solitude. What does it mean to feel alone amid such constant contact? Through the lens of Stoicism, we begin to see solitude not as a deficiency, but as a profound opportunity. Marcus Aurelius, in his timeless meditations, reminds us that true contentment is birthed from within, unshackled from the need for external affirmation. Solitude becomes a sacred dialogue with the self, an inward journey that reveals our deepest values, aspirations, and emotional landscapes. It is within this solitude that we confront who we genuinely are, shedding the layers obscured by the noise of daily life. Through ancient philosophies, loneliness emerges not as a barrier, but a catalyst for introspection. Just as social interactions can drown the subtle whispers of our innermost thoughts, solitude amplifies them, forcing us to face both our shadows and our light. Like a mirror, it reflects what we fear and what we dream, revealing a path to deeper understanding and self-compassion. Buddhism, with its emphasis on mindfulness, suggests that in solitude, awareness bridges the gap between perceived isolation and the shared essence of human experience. The silence of solitude, then, is not a void, but fertile ground ripe with potential, a place to unearth the layers of identity and embrace a peace with our own company. In this contemplative space, we discover aspects of ourselves often hidden in the bustle of the world. With external demands fading, solitude offers a blank canvas upon which the colors of our true nature may emerge. Existential philosophy whispers that the freedom found in solitude unlocks a gateway to authentic existence, a place where we bravely wrestle with life's fundamental questions. Who am I? What truly matters? This encounter, while daunting, offers the chance to explore uncharted territories of our psyche and cultivate a richer understanding of self, transcending societal norms and peer pressure to reveal our core essence. Solitude becomes a crucible for transformation. Here, Nietzsche's idea of the overman resonates, suggesting that true empowerment is rooted in our willingness to engage with isolation, not run from it. By embracing solitude, we find the stepping stones toward enlightenment, learning resilience and self-appreciation. This courageous detachment from the fear of loneliness transforms solitude into an enriching retreat, a sacred space where one can nurture inner tranquility and resilience. Through Stoic teachings, we discover that control over our thoughts and reactions liberates us from feeling enslaved by solitude. Embracing solitude requires courage, but the rewards are profound. Seneca taught that true wealth lies in living content with little, urging us away from accumulation towards simplicity and stillness. Through solitude, we learn the art of finding fulfillment within ourselves, untethered from others' validation. Epicurean philosophy aligns here, promoting happiness through the moderation of desires, fostering deep gratitude for the present moment. Solitude teaches us to be content, shielding us against emotional turbulence and anchoring us in the tranquility of self-awareness. In the quiet, we engage in dialogue with ourselves, a practice that enriches with insight and growth. Without judgment, this inner conversation allows us to explore fears, desires, and dreams. It challenges our beliefs and refines our life compass. Jungian psychology supports this, emphasizing the importance of integrating conscious and unconscious aspects of self through introspective dialogues, leading to wholeness. As solitude cultivates self-discovery, it prepares us for deeper, more authentic connections with others. Understanding ourselves cultivates empathy for genuine engagement, allowing relationships not to fill voids, but to enhance growth and mutual understanding. Stoic and Buddhist philosophies teach that true connection stems from abundance, not lack, and solitude's preparation harmonizes this balance. Engaging with solitude demands a courage akin to the hero's journey, a departure, a confrontation, and ultimately a return with new wisdom. Nietzsche's existential lens shows that courage transcends endurance, unfolding into empowerment. Facing solitude reflects resilience and self-discovery, paving the road to intentional and purposeful living. Cultivating a practice of solitude means integrating it into daily life, much like meditation or exercise. Establishing rituals of journaling, walking, or simply sitting in silence creates a sanctuary for clarity and growth. This commitment mirrors spiritual traditions that see periodic retreats as essential for maintaining balance, nurturing resilience, and fostering fulfillment. Ultimately, solitude does not stand alone, but acts as a bridge to human connection. It is a cycle where insights garnered in solitude enrich communal interactions. This integration fulfills our dual desire for introspection and connectivity, harmonizing individuality with collective understanding. As ancient wisdom posits, while solitude fuels self-discovery, it is within the embrace of community that our newly found insights find their fullest expression. Guilt is a deeply entrenched emotion, akin to a double-edged sword. It can wound as a weapon, yet also guide towards higher moral terrain. In its essence, guilt arises when actions, thoughts, or intentions conflict with internalized moral or ethical standards. These standards often stem from personal beliefs, societal norms, or cultural influences. When used as a weapon, guilt manipulates and paralyzes, obscuring joy and dimming productivity. It is frequently self-imposed, shaped by echoes of past authoritative voices or societal judgments. This form of guilt fosters inadequacy, making the journey forward seem arduous and unclear. Yet, guilt can transform into a guide when it reflects personal values and ethics. Here, it serves as a vehicle for transformation, leading to introspection and growth. By illuminating missteps, it nudges one toward corrective action. Through understanding the origins and intentions of guilt, one may harness its guiding potential without bowing to its harmful power. Introspective practices, such as journaling and meditation, can help discern between guilt as a crippling weapon and as a wise guide, allowing self-awareness to flourish amid the noise of external expectations. In the complex dance of emotions, remorse and shame often intermingle, requiring careful discernment. Remorse arises from recognizing the impact of one's actions on others, aligning with an inner moral compass. It is an empathetic response that acknowledges mistakes while seeking reparation. Unlike the debilitating force of shame, true remorse cultivates empathy, encouraging humility and compassion. Remorse is a gentle teacher, fostering healing in both personal and relational realms. It transforms errors into opportunities for growth, as sincere introspection forges stronger, more authentic connections. In contrast, programmed shame is an external imposition, often masquerading as guilt but devoid of resolution or growth. It thrives on defensiveness and fear, rooted in societal expectations and familial judgments that bind one to the past. Unraveling these emotions demands recognition of the sources behind such guilt-laden messages, questioning their relevance to one's self-perception and life journey. In the wisdom of ancient philosophies, guilt and responsibility intertwine, presenting universal truths that transcend time. Stoicism emphasizes that while external events remain beyond one's control, responses to emotions, including guilt, are decidedly within one's grasp. Evaluating emotions through a rational lens Stoics see them as neither intrinsically good nor bad, but rather as reflections of personal interpretations and beliefs. Guilt becomes a call to realign personal virtues with internal values, promoting growth rather than inhibition. In Buddhism, mindfulness is key in managing guilt, allowing thoughts and feelings to be observed without attachment or identification. This awareness transforms guilt from a source of suffering into a chance for insight, maintaining compassion and self-kindness. Both philosophies embrace responsibility not punitively, but as a commitment to self-improvement and the betterment of human relations. By integrating these teachings into modern life, one may seek to liberate from destructive guilt while embracing the constructive potential within. Intention holds a vital role in how guilt manifests and functions. Aligned intentions rooted in values and genuine concern create a foundation of integrity. Even when outcomes cause unintended harm, guilt remains constructive, guiding adjustments rather than condemnation. Recognizing intention's role distinguishes genuine mistakes from moral failures, nurturing compassion and learning. Reflecting on intentions reveals the motivations behind actions, creating space for understanding and amending misalignments. Through self-reflection focused on intention, guilt becomes a companion, guiding the heart towards authenticity and integrity. When approached with openness and courage, guilt can be transformative, a mirror reflecting the dissonance between experience and ideal self-perception. Exploring these reflections fosters acceptance and understanding, reshaping habits and self-concept. Embracing this challenge requires confronting uncomfortable truths, integrating them to build a resilient and authentic self. With self-awareness and compassion, practices like meditation nurture transformation, allowing vulnerability to become a tool rather than a threat. In this space, guilt shifts from punitive to transformative, revealing authentic growth. Forgiveness is a journey of liberation and healing, breaking self-condemnation's chains to renew freedom. It transcends erasing accountability, consciously releasing bitterness and self-blame. True forgiveness demands acknowledgement and acceptance of faults and impacts. Practicing forgiveness empowers the letting go of negative emotions, fostering a return to the present, centering on growth and positive change. Recognizing shared imperfection fosters empathic connections, dissolving guilt's isolation. Embracing forgiveness requires courage, a willingness to transcend guilt towards emotional liberation. Cultural and societal norms heavily shape perceptions of guilt, influencing understandings of duty and moral conduct. Imposed guilt often diverges from true values, as cultural imprinting seeks conformity through guilt as control. Exploring these influences invites questioning inherited beliefs, choosing alignment with personal ethics and truth. This awareness reclaims authentic expression, untethered from outdated societal constructs. This empowerment enables choices rooted in integrity, navigating responsibilities beyond societal constraints. Building emotional resilience creates strength to face guilt with stability. Through mindful observation, resilience fosters healthy detachment from self-criticism, embracing introspection. Resilience nurtures self-validation, reinforcing resources for navigating guilt's complexities. It empowers guilt's use as a teacher, illuminating personal growth and emotional maturity. Navigating guilt effectively demands boundaries and empowered self-worth, protecting against unwarranted guilt intrusions. Boundaries define personal value, while empowered self-worth fosters actions grounded in intrinsic motivation. Integrating these practices liberates and nurtures, steadfast self-worth, stepping boldly towards authenticity. In its higher form, guilt inspires advocacy for societal change and personal betterment. Transformative guilt informs individuals and communities, fostering movements toward justice and truth. Harnessing guilt's global dimensions nurtures advocacy and compassionate leadership, multiplying guilt's positive impact for the collective well-being. In the brief interstice between the swell of emotion and the action it provokes lies a world of choice. The fraught moment when an emotion surges forth, threatening to sweep you away in its torrent, offers the subtle yet profound power of the pause. It is here where you can engage with the Stoic art of reflection, finding wisdom in stillness as you shape the world within and around you. Epictetus reminded us that events do not disturb us. It is our views of them that do. Within this pause, you hold the power to forge those views wisely. As the world rushes by with its insistence on immediacy, draw on this act of conscious deceleration, a retreat into the quiet realm of awareness where emotions untangle themselves, revealing rational choices beneath. This intermission is not suppression, nor is it denial. It is alignment. Imagine it as a reminder of autonomy, an assertion of your sovereign right over the sanctity of your own mind. In a world conditioned by impulse and speed, the pause stands as an art form. It invites you to redefine relationships with emotion, transforming them from unyielding tyrants into understandable signals. As you traverse your inner corridors, beliefs and past experiences shape reactions. What triggers you often speaks more of internal narratives than external events. The Stoics, with their meticulous examination, understood that meanings you assign frequently stem from unexamined layers. Recognizing these layers offers liberation. Journey with Carl Jung through the unconscious, where exploring roots untangles the inevitability of automatic reactions, turning them into conscious choices. Emotional intelligence is born here, of wisdom that fosters resilience. In practicing detachment, one might fear a loss of passion, but true detachment offers compassionate witnessing. It's like observing a river with appreciation, engaged yet unconstrained. Emotions are felt deeply, but you are not their prisoner. Detachment is an act of love, intrinsic and stable, uncrutched by externals. It nurtures an empowering equanimity, coexisting acceptance with action. Detachment is neither apathy nor coldness. It's quiet strength, standing in life's storms without being swept away. Emotions offer raw data, but wisdom awaits in their reflection. The space you create becomes a crucible for distillation, yielding insights aligned with values and goals. It's a transformative alchemy where mere reactions become intentional actions. Nietzsche's reminder, staring into your personal abyss, reveals deep truths. Engaged reflection nurtures rational engagement, providing clarity for compassionate, calculated paths. Insights don't avoid emotions. They emerge through listening with discernment. Pause, compassion, and reflection create a dynamic triad. Compassion deepens clarity, extending heart-centered awareness to self and others. In this compassionate embrace, mistakes are met with understanding rather than judgment. Compassion guides us through strength and vulnerability, letting us bridge reactive chasms with humanity's connective essence. It softens judgment and fosters patience, growing self-acceptance and aligning responses with integrity and empathy. Reflection, the act of turning inward, broadens internal spaces. Once unfurled, thoughts and emotions find sanctuary within. Following Marcus Aurelius's disciplined reflections ensures principles align with actions. Quiet communion synthesizes complexities into digestible insights. This reflective space diminishes exterior noise, making room for anticipation and considered intentions. Reaction is replaced by meaningful response, cultivated in sacred grounds of ongoing realization and reformation. From stability, responses gain considered wisdom. Inner equilibrium, crafted through practice, empowers non-reactivity. When chaos looms, stability stands as solid ground amidst shifting worlds. This doesn't just resist turmoil, it anchors, allowing responses to be firmly rooted in noble self-control. Stability gifts freedom, the clarity to act with unwavering conviction and kindness, radiating calm that influences the chaotic world. Rituals scaffold mindful responses, much like the breath-sustaining life. They nurture consistency and intention in engagement. The Stoics revered rituals as guides refining our focus, a structured bridge between intent and action. Whether through meditation or journaling, rituals forge a cadence with gentle wisdom, defying the modern pace by embedding presence and awareness. Rituals fortify responses, leading to decisions of thoughtful engagement. Within boundaries, creativity thrives. Limits, born of wisdom, nurture rather than restrict, fostering arenas for authentic engagement. Seneca's views teach us that freedom lies within honored boundaries. Establishing emotional limits creates pathways aligned with personal integrity and purpose. Within these limits, exploration flourishes, distinguishing productive paths. Boundaries act as a compass, revealing innovation anchored in integrity and community ethics. Every response ripples across time, etching echoes in the continuum of life. Each choice reverberates, casting ripples into the broader tapestry of existence. The Stoic framework encourages reflection on these ripples, embracing responsibility for personal and collective growth. The art of responding becomes a sacred gesture, a commitment not only to oneself, but to humanity. With each choice, cast your stone into existence with mindful presence, letting its echo inspire change and understanding. This journey, marked by conscious commitment to compassion, integrity, and wisdom, lives on, inviting ongoing participation in the profound dance of transformation. In the profound tapestry of human experience, emotions often swirl like tempestuous storms, leaving confusion in their wake. Imagine emotions as ancient tempests that sailors once braved, uncontrollable yet navigable with wisdom and patience. The Stoics, much like seasoned mariners, understood that while we cannot halt the forces of nature, we can learn to sail through them by recognizing their temporary nature. Emotions, though intense, are fleeting visitors that demand understanding, but not control over us. In the heart of these storms lies the opportunity for introspection, a chance to observe rather than react, to understand rather than obey the whims of momentary feeling. To recognize an emotional storm is to acknowledge its transiency, a natural occurrence of the human condition. With calm observation, we transcend the immediacy of feeling, allowing the torrential waves of emotion to crash without being swept away. The essence of the storm, in all its chaos, often obscures clarity. Yet, within the stillness of observation lies the possibility of revelation and peace, waiting patiently beyond the turmoil. This cycle fosters patience, nurturing emotional resilience, and creating a space for thoughtful reflection. By grounding ourselves in this awareness, reason triumphs over impulse, offering clear guidance when the storm subsides. At the heart of any storm, there exists an I, a calm, centered point. Similarly, we too possess a quietude within, accessible when we choose patience over haste. This profound silence is not just the absence of noise, but the suspension of inner disarray. Ancient sages extolled the virtue of silence as a cradle where wisdom is born. By embracing it, we practice restraint, allowing emotions to naturally ebb away, thus creating room for thoughtful contemplation. Silence becomes a refuge, delaying action until it is crafted with deliberate intention, preserving the integrity of our purpose. In the art of silence, we engage in a dialogue with ourselves, inviting our inner truths to emerge over the clamor of transient emotions. As confusion settles, clarity is unearthed from chaos. By engaging with silence, we confront our intuition and judgments with honesty, equipping ourselves to transform emotional stimuli into deliberate actions rooted in inner peace. Through this quiet connection, we forge a relationship with our emotions rooted in understanding rather than reaction, empowering us to navigate life's challenges with mindfulness and grace. Time, often seen as the relentless adversary of youth, holds an uncelebrated power to heal emotional wounds. Like wine maturing with age, emotions soften over time, revealing hidden nuances of perspective. For the Stoics, time was a gentle balm that eased the grip of passion, allowing emotional storms to transform into manageable, insightful experiences. As time grants perspective, it fosters patience and a deeper understanding that events are not isolated, but part of a continuous life narrative. Allowing time to influence our decision-making brings wisdom that immediacy cannot. Temporal distance offers a vantage point to observe emotional chaos with detachment, offering insights obscured by emotions. This subtle shift recalibrates judgments, nurturing a deeper understanding of our emotional landscape where truth stands apart from the frenzy. In this patient sanctuary, truths once hidden emerge, enabling decisions crafted with intention, devoid of emotional noise, yet full of clarity. Nature, in its rhythmic dance of tides and seasons, offers profound lessons on the impermanence of emotions. As the earth endures storms and is reborn, so too should we approach our emotional management. We must allow emotions their natural course, much like the earth does with its seasons. Resilience and acceptance bloom when we emulate nature's rhythm. By aligning ourselves with these natural cycles, we foster a resilience akin to that of ancient oaks swaying in fierce winds. This flexible grace, fortified by acceptance, anchors us in truth amidst emotional tempests. As the storm fades and renewal follows, we too find rejuvenation. Recognizing emotions as ephemeral as seasons cultivates an appreciation for life's rhythm, granting us the strength to navigate emotions with wisdom and poise. Engaging in reflective listening, an art of empathy and active engagement, allows us to discern truth obscured by emotional noise. By listening to ourselves, we unveil insights beneath the cacophony of feelings. This practice fosters dialogue between our emotional and rational selves, nurturing understanding and minimizing haste and judgment. In this introspective harmony, mindful actions emerge, rooted in balance and clarity. In emotional turbulence, values act as steadfast anchors, casting their light amid the storm's tumult. Stoicism teaches that a virtue-anchored life provides stability, lending assurance and consistency when emotions waver. By focusing on courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance, decisions align with convictions rather than fleeting urges. Embracing the space between stimulus and response, as Viktor Frankl advocates, liberates us from the impulsive grip of emotions. Within this reflective pause lies the freedom to choose our path mindfully. This interval, shielded from emotional capriciousness, offers insights that remain hidden in reaction. The journey from reaction to response is transformative, requiring conscious engagement with emotional storms. Deliberate action acknowledges emotions, inviting them to inform rather than dictate. By calibrating our actions in alignment with values and wisdom, we reshape emotional storms into catalysts for growth. In this transformation, emotional transmutation, a soulful alchemy akin to turning lead into gold, lies at the core of resilience. By honoring emotions as allies rather than adversaries, we unlock reserves of strength, courage, and empathy. This alchemy unfolds over time, igniting a harmonious interplay between heart and mind. Emerging from emotional turbulence, we cherish the serenity beyond the storm. Through this journey, quiet strength reveals itself, empowering us to face life's challenges with steadfast grace, embodying the timeless wisdom of emotional evolution. Emotions travel like the unseen winds, shifting with the tempos of life, transient and unanchored. They are the weather of our inner world, summoned forth by the alchemy of circumstance and temperament. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, pondered deeply on this impermanence. He saw emotions as momentary apparitions, vivid yet ephemeral, capable of coloring our perceptions, but not defining the core of who we are. By recognizing emotions as these transient guests, signals of the moment rather than declarations of our being, we step a pace back and observe with clarity and curiosity. In this watchful distance lies the pure essence of who we are, unfettered by the tumult of emotional squalls. We tend to blur the lines between feeling and being, as though the flame of anger or the shadow of sorrow is woven into the very fiber of self. But emotions are whispers of response, reactions to what unfolds within and around us. The Buddhist path, through mindfulness, teaches the virtue of detachment. It is an invitation to witness emotions as clouds drifting across our consciousness, not as mirrors reflecting identity. This non-identification offers liberation, guiding us to sail the seas of emotion without losing sight of the inner compass that stays true regardless of external tempests. Often, a peculiar illusion traps us within its silent grasp, that our emotions are the sum of our identities. This misunderstanding roots in our interpretations of the depths and frequencies of our feelings. In the throes of anger, the mind may mistake a transient state for an enduring trait. Stoicism encourages the dissolution of this illusion, likening emotions to clouds, ever-changing in form and hue as they move across the sky's expanse. In embracing the transience of emotions, we weaken their hold, unshackling ourselves from self-imposed identities that stifle growth. To detach from this illusion does not mean to forsake emotions. Emotional detachment is a form of grace, a gentle art of freeing emotions from strictures while remaining attuned to their significance. This is not about numbness, but the mindful ability to behold emotions as they rise and fall, vibrant messengers that neither dictate our essence nor enslave our actions. In this balanced detachment, informed by principles from both Stoicism and Zen, we engage with emotional experiences, channeling them as guides rather than rulers. This detachment must dance in harmony with acceptance, a balance between distancing ourselves from emotions and embracing the lessons they bring. Embracing emotions enriches our lives, offering insights that connect us with others and reflect the unfolding narrative of our inner world. Equanimity, as taught by Stoics and Buddhists alike, encourages us to hold emotions in both hands, to savor their richness while maintaining an inner peace unshakable by their passage. The compass that steers this journey is self-awareness, an unwavering guide through emotional seas. It asks us to peer into each emotion with curiosity, decoding the why and how behind our reactions, and unlocking truths about ourselves. Epictetus spoke of the virtue of self-examination, where an intimate understanding of self and motives casts light upon the landscape of our emotional world. Mindful presence serves as the anchor amidst this storm, inviting us to the tranquility of the present moment, where emotions are experienced, not as controlling forces, but as fleeting visitors within the sanctuary of awareness. Practices like meditation and breath awareness enrich this presence, fostering a dialogue with emotions that eschews judgment in favor of gentle acceptance. Mindful presence teaches us to hold space for each passing emotion, nurturing a life rooted in conscious engagement rather than automatic reaction. Acceptance, when embraced fully, liberates us from inner conflict. It transforms resistance into openness, acknowledging emotions without the burden of judgment, permitting their passage through us like a river. This acceptance is neither passive nor resigned. It is an active engagement with our truth, seeing emotions not as adversaries, but as integral components of our experience, offering vital messages and reminders of our humanity. Storytelling, too, plays its part, elevating our comprehension and reflection upon emotions. Narrating the tales of our emotions weaves them into the broader fabric of our lives, reframing experiences into stories of growth and understanding. This process grants emotions a voice without allowing them dominion over identity, revealing interconnected narratives of personal evolution in which emotions are valued not as arbiters, but as companions on our journey. To transcend emotional reaction requires anchoring in values, the steadfast beacons amid emotional turmoil. Values serve as guardians of our actions and choices, reflecting not the temporary sway of emotions, but the essence of our true spirit. Here, Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the strength found in aligning actions with our authentic selves, ensuring that decisions reflect a steady commitment to integrity and purpose. In this space between emotion and reaction lies the ultimate freedom, conscious choice. It is the power to respond with deliberation, the gift of sovereignty over our actions and desires, an echo of Viktor Frankl's assertion of autonomy that lives in the pause before response. Each conscious choice reaffirms our core identity, one unyielding and steadfast, despite life's emotional currents. In conclusion, let these truths echo within, inviting you to join this contemplative journey by liking and subscribing to the channel, embracing the ongoing dance of emotions with wisdom and grace.